Hello guys, this is Zlewikk and welcome back to our series of videos about not yet announced game called Project Ceasar, but we all know by now it is EU5. Today will be a short but very sweet dev diary about one of the seasons that is the most severe, so winter. In the previous EU games, winter was pretty much impacting attrition, and that was the only important thing that it was impacting. In EU5 we can expect a much more impactful and changing the gameplay type of winter. So first of all, there will be 4 types of winter in game. No winter, and then we've got a mild winter, we've got a normal winter, and we've got severe winter. The level of winter will depend on the time of the year, the hemisphere, if north or south, obviously, and obviously the topography of the province itself. So it will be very dynamic between the provinces that will be going through. So understanding your nation's topography on a high level of gameplay might be very important to not do some stupid mistakes. So obviously, like in EU4, level of winter will impact attrition that your armies are getting. But besides that, food will be very much impacted, and to be exact, production of food, because your pops will eat the same amount of food, but depending on the level of the winter, they'll produce less of it. During a mild winter, it is 25% less, while during severe winters, you have 0 production in a province, which means that you have to keep good stocks of food in these provinces, otherwise it might be an issue. Interestingly, also constructions will be impacted. Not only building constructions, but also ship constructions. So severe winter can completely stall a construction in a specific location. So they're even saying here that when you're living on nations that have a lot of winter throughout the year, you have to really plan ahead when and what you want to build in your locations. My favorite thing mentioned in this dev diary is that we're finally gonna get into EU games narrows, inland seas and lakes that will actually freeze during winter, which means your troops will be able to go through these areas, and that's gonna create a completely new way of strategies and moving your armies in game. You see, some of you are complaining that this is gonna be like Victoria 3. You already saw in previous dev diaries, it's not. You're gonna actually be managing your armies, and on top of that, we're getting more and more extra content on top of what EU4 offered to us. You also need to understand when the lakes, sea, or etc. are gonna unfreeze, because if your troops are there when the freeze is ending, it might be catastrophic for your army. So while it is useful, it's gonna be also very risky to move there in the specific time of the year. Interestingly, if a province type, location type is a mountain, during a severe winter and even normal winters, you will not be able to move through these locations with your armies, which is amazing and another addition to strategy during wars, because you have to plan your defense or offense depending on this location's type and the type of the winter that is incoming. I know this is gonna be probably too complex for the new players, and it's gonna cause a lot of skill issues when you'll be learning this game, but what we love the most about EU games, that you need time to learn the game and to master it. Because if you learn the game and master it in just 50, 100 hours, you'd get bored after 500 hours. Here we can play for thousands of hours, and I expect the same from EU5. So this, some small types of additions that probably are not gonna kill you completely if you don't understand it, but for the skilled players, this is gonna be a very big leverage both in single player and multiplayer. But yeah, as said, this is a very short dev diary. Next week they're gonna go on holidays, so in 2 weeks the next dev diary is gonna be about roads, development, prosperity and other stuff. But before we move to that, let's look at the comment section. Will there be Arctic sea zones that always are frozen and theoretically traversable for armies? Johan saying no. Sealand is asking, are there some sort of upgrades for troops to survive the winter, at least make for place Russian armies have better odds surviving in winter than let's say some French armies that found their way to Russia for some weird reason? Not from winter per se, but lacking supplies, and winter is far more devastating, which is usually an issue with invading Russia. Not winter per se, but how your supplies and logistics are prepared for this kind of invasion. The guy is asking why it's only winter using food production rather than specific harvest times in the year for specific type of the goods. And Johan is saying that simple reason, performance calculations. Because, you know, if you had to add it for all of the different types of the food, there would be millions of calculations to be done by your computer, which I know you guys are already crying your computer's not gonna play with this game. Can we get monsoons as well, maybe even the random hurricane? And Johan is saying that they have plans for storms, but they are not done yet. If two hostile armies meet at frozen season, do they still fight as normal? Or if so, there is a greater risk of ice breaking. It's just a normal fight, there's no such thing. Will winter affect siege progress? Winter is more likely to make sieges fail, as your army may dwindle. On what do you base winter severity? Minimum temperature during winter? Length of winter? And Johan is saying climate has a maximum winter level, so in specific climate levels you just cannot get a severe winter. I wonder if the army movement blocking won't be easy to forget because of how fast the game can go. Comparing to EU4, as a couple of months can go fast, and then it's going to be simply annoying. Or is it saved by army movement going by hourly ticks? And Johan is saying that hourly ticks will make you feel this much more. It's not like something you're gonna forget. So guys asking if severe hot is gonna have an impact on stuff. For now, Johan is just making it into a joke, which means they don't have plans to include it in game. Somebody's asking if the Little Ice Age will be portrayed in this system, and it is still not decided by the devs. What happens when a navy is stuck on ice? And I forgot to mention it. When your armies can travel through straits, etc. when they are frozen, your navies can't. So your navy can be stuck in the Baltic Sea when you have to invade Great Britain during winter. So what happens when a navy is stuck on ice and an army moves into that tile? Will the army capture the ships like the Den Helder incident where the French troops captured Dutch ships? That is the intent, not sure it is in yet. So if you forget to hire your fleet, that's interesting. Somebody might take it over? That would be crazy. I'm wondering how they're gonna do it. Will the other 3 seasons have an impact on the game? And Johan is saying not really. So actually just, you know, it is no winter, mild winter, normal winter, or severe winter. The other seasons don't matter. And Johan is saying that he did not really notice any armies being killed by melting ice yet, so this is rather a rare thing to happen, because you have time to escape before the ice melts. Oh, there will be different seasons portrayed in the map with the different colors, and that's also the plan, but it's not done yet as well. Will mountain forts be garrisoned siegeable during winters? Siegeable? Yes. Good idea? Well. Oh, and hurricanes and monsoons will be discussed in one of the future months. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today, guys. So let me know what you think about this dev diary. I think that's a huge step forward, and that's what I'm expecting from EU5, to bring a lot of new and fun stuff into the game. And obviously subscribe to the channel to get notified about the next Into Talks. Bye!